Hello to all you Patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 149 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one live podcast in Canada. Not Podcart, podcast. We're recording on Monday, September 3rd, 2018.
I'm Liberal Tim. I'm a husband and the father of three. I'm a sport shooter and the owner and operator of Tim's Good T-shirts. They're quite good. I'm also the proud descendant of immigrants.
As always, my name is Andrew. I'm a recovering libertarian, a competitive shooter, and a firearms instructor at Ragnarok Tactical. And this week, Tim's filling in for me as your host, just like last week.
Excellent. I'm Gavin, a business owner, gun enthusiast, hunter, atheist, and CCFR field officer for the Greater Toronto Area.
I'm Marty, hunter and sports shooter, rural Southern Ontario.
And I'm Dave Eisel, hunter, sport enthusiast, competition enthusiast, all things guns. I like to make sure everybody loves them as much as I do. Welcome, everybody.
We'd love to hear your feedback about the show. Please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback, or you can email us, feedback at CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Versions of the show are on Stitcher and iTunes. I seriously don't think Spotify's ever going to let us stream.
Probably not.
Why, are we too PG for them?
Yeah. But while you're, trying to find us on Spotify, you can actually find us on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, and probably Pornhub shortly, because they seem to be the only ones that are not messing with our videos. But yeah, Facebook.com/Canadian Patriot Podcast or Instagram.com/Canadian Patriot Podcast. You can definitely find us on those places.
Excellent.
We need your help to support the show. Visit www.patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode, and the more you pledge, the better the rewards are. So you're not a communist. Buy a CPP t-shirt for just $19.99 plus shipping and theft, and visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Go to the home page and follow the link on the right.
I guess this is me. Every week, Arrowhead Coffee brings us my favorite segment. It's called What Are We Drinking? Arrowhead Coffee is owned and operated by Canadian Armed Forces veterans. They love our country, the true North, strong and free, their family and friends. Join Arrowhead Coffee on their hunt for the perfect brew to raise morale and bring that feeling of home to you, no matter where you are. A portion of all profits helps Canadian Armed Forces members, veterans, and their families. I guess I need to ask, what are we drinking? Dave, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Guelph's Finest, drinking some Sleeman Original tonight. It's going down smooth.
Excellent.
Gavin, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Maker's Mark and Coke Zero this evening.
Marty, what are you drinking?
Kraken and Coke Zero today.
Nice.
Sounds like a wild night's in store.
Yeah, everybody's on the Coke Zero. Things are going to get out of hand. I'm drinking one of the final pale ales cream ales that we brewed for the charity shoot. I've almost drank all of them.
I think I have one left in the fridge as well.
About time.
No, okay. Well, I thought we were talking over each other.
Okay. And I am drinking 40 Creek Copper Pot and Reverse Osmosis.
Sorry, Tim. It says
okay.
you're Canadian Patriot Podcast, and I'm thoroughly confused because usually that logo is my face.
Yes.
But just while we all have our beverages out, I just wanted to give a cheers to some more friends of the show that got hitched over the weekend. So
Here.
Tyler and Rachel, cheers.
Congrats, guys.
Congrats.
Yeah, I definitely thought that when Tim went up to do his speech that he would be going, "We need your help."
Yes.
Or Ralph Goodale.
Yeah, and kudos to Matt, our token American who was up there for the wedding as well, that dropped an excellent dick joke.
Yes. Managed to talk about his dick and slam Trudeau all in a wedding speech. That's
nice.
It's, very well done. Yeah.
Is there proof? We got video for later.
Someone better have video. I'll tell you that much.
Of his speech or of his dick? I'm not sure.
Both, obviously.
I'm sure there's some video evidence of him tearing up the dance floor that'll surface at some point.
Nice.
Yeah.
There we
where
go.
are we at now?
In related news, I just was finally able to make the show notes editable.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. On with the
Sweet.
show.
Yeah.
All right, I'm out of here then.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember, you are the true north.
Yeah.
Strong and taxed.
Yeah.
Good ale.
That's the black pill at there.
Yeah, I'm going to start an e-petition that we have to change Ralph's last name.
Terrible lager.
Terrible lager. Yes.
Mediocre Pilsner.
Ooh, mediocre. That's rough.
Yeah. Well.
All right, where are we at here? Trump.
Yeah, I literally I haven't read the show notes. I'm just showing up to this because I've been choring today. Today was choring day.
Well, so basically, you're going to be like the rest of us when you typically host the show.
Okay, because like I'm making Labor Day and working on labor in that I'm doing the things my wife wants done around the house.
That's the
So all of the doors have been adequately lubricated.
Sounds important.
Well, no more squeaking to wake the tiny screaming baby.
CLP works for everything, eh?
CLP works for everything. My house smells like
It's
gun
true.
cleaner, and my doors do not squeak.
It's true. My razor wasn't working properly the other day. I put a little bit of CLP on it. The thing buzzes no problem now.
nice.
I'm a little worried because CLP is a carcinogenic, but so is everything else, especially in California.
Oh yeah, everything is 10 times more deadly in California.
I say everything in
God I
moderation.
don't
You'll be
live there.
fine.
Yeah.
All right, the news.
Yeah.
Yes.
The news.
Yes.
Wait, did we do Arrowhead Coffee? Did I
Yeah,
just
we
miss
did.
that?
Yes.
We did that. Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't do
the
our
news.
new sponsor, though. Gunderson's Cream Corn. You've tried the rest. Now try the creamiest. Gunderson's Cream Corn.
I feel like you guys are going to add stuff to my to-do list.
Like clean up all the barf. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully with this new NAFTA agreement. Oh wait, oh no, that's not going to happen. No cream corn for you, Tim.
Ah.
You'll be paying taxes on it. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, the cream corn tariffs are steep.
Yeah.
And the cans, they go in.
Yeah.
All right, does somebody seriously want to give me the highlights on this? Because I don't know what's going on.
Well, I guess Canada got
US
left
and
out of
Mexico- Yeah, U.S. and Mexico formed a NAFTA agreement.
And we can't get our shit together, so we're left out in the cold holding our dick.
Yeah. Thanks, Trudeau.
Yeah. Good
Yeah,
job. Good job,
Is
team.
this- so
Yeah, and
I have
don't
not
get us
read the
started.
Fox News article, but is this related to the minister that didn't show up to the meeting for NAFTA? Because our
not
trade
sure.
minister was definitely late.
I think it's related to quite a few things. Like, I mean, Trudeau drawing, such a hardline approach to Trump. Like, he finally picks a time to have a backbone, and it's like the wrong time. Like,
Yeah.
rather than like trying to compromise and
Figure
maybe
this out.
do what's best for both nations. He starts doing this whole tariff war back and forth. Like, fuck you, we're taxing for this. So now we get left out of the free trade agreement.
I don't know if last time he checked, but there's 300 million of them and only 40 million of us. We don't have the upper hand on anything here.
Yeah.
Kind of need to work with them on this.
Yeah, and this was this is political theater trying to politicking for his base. And as David said, like that's how Trump was saying, like, why are we having these bad deals? We are the market that everyone's trying to sell to. We have the upper hand when it comes to these trade negotiations. We shouldn't be giving everything away. And
Yeah.
that's how their negotiating tactic went. And then our trade negotiators went in saying, we need a gender specific free trade agreement, and got laughed out of the room. And they basically said, come back when you're going to be adults and negotiate as adults. And we haven't been
There's not a
back.
single one in Ottawa. Not a single one. At least on the left side of the floor.
Yeah. It's just because we did silly things like wanted gender balanced budgets in the NAFTA agreements. Remember when we talked about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that the budget is like they wanted gender specific items so that to help equality. Like there was nothing clear about what any of it meant. Just like
No, but I know that they were talking about like gender study balance nonsense. Like,
yeah,
I remember that we talked about that briefly when we started.
It wasn't that specifically, but like that's an example of how we weren't taking it seriously. You know, we were there just to pretend like we were negotiating and then just doing ridiculous things with the intention that this NAFTA deal was just never going to happen and that Trump wasn't going to do anything. And they were, everyone was laughing in Ottawa about how this crazy Trump guy thinks he's going to use tariffs and none of this is going to work. And then it works because they are the biggest market and people do want to sell there. Like they're the customer. The customer gets to dictate a lot. The customer has the power in the sale.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're the largest market in the world. They're right next door to us, and we've screwed that up. Like,
our closest and largest trading partner. Yeah. No, we don't need to discuss anything with them. Fuck it.
By a massive margin too. It's like something like 80-90% goes south of the border, something like that.
And now think about what kind of position that puts our negotiators in, because now they have to go there and request a deal. Like that, they have no hand whatsoever now.
Yeah. Like it's like they were saying, like the U.S. trade deals, we're leaving them with a trade deficit of like $500 billion. It's just absurd. There are some things that we import into Canada from America, and there's like a 300% levy on it. It's ridiculous. But this Fox News article, like I don't read a lot of Fox News articles, but they're talking about Canada. It's pretty alarming. Like you gotta get your head out of your ass and think about like how like our largest trade partner thinks of us, and they're talking about us basically like something they stepped in on the street. Like it's just like
I don't have a feeling though that this is going to be like a way for Trudeau to implement like more cartels, like the dairy cartel and like the maple syrup cartel and all of that. Like it's like supply management 2.0, where we're going to just have like a billion more of these things that pop up because that's the only way we're going to be able to like do business or something stupid.
Well, yeah, but it's just like Trump's holding all the cards, and he's basically running the whole country like it was a business, which is kind of something like I know I've said several times. I wish they would run government like a business, like, and then they'd be more worried about profits and spending and stuff like that. But this is something like he basically like Trudeau takes pot shots at him in speeches, and it's just like, you don't do that. Like just because he's going to get his pension forever,
I mean, even if you're just the annoying mosquito, eventually that annoying mosquito gets swatted at, and here it is, big time getting swatted at.
You can hate Trump as a person all you want, but from everything I've read, there hasn't been one thing where I've read that he's being unreasonable in the things that he wants for his country. And the sooner we come to that realization, the better.
You mean like making it great again?
Yeah.
Of course.
The biggest problem with Trump is like he's like, well, it's compounded by like we have the anti-Trump we have the social justice, SJW virtue signaling idiot with no business sense who says stupid things like deficits are a good way of measuring success and the budget will fix itself, or the budget will, it'll grow from the heart outward.
And somehow we need to have a gender analysis on the budget because somehow it makes a difference whether it's male or female, or like it's a budget. It shouldn't make a difference. Like if we need a better deal on importing cars into Canada so we can sell them and be affordable, that has nothing to do whether a car is a guy or a girl, or a guy or a girl is buying it or building it or designing it. Like that's stupid. It has nothing to do with gender. That has everything to do with economics.
Well, when they start to talk about gender studies in stuff like that. Like it's literally like I'm going, is there going to be a time like if these people get another term like in 3 years, is it going to be like we're going to go buy a car and the car is going to be 30% more if you accidentally forget to change your gender and stay male that day, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean we saw that with the guy doing his insurance scam. I mean, changing his gender to save money on his insurance.
Yeah.
My brother was getting a
change-
30%
Geico
discount.
really
for
needs
5
to
years.
steal that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I changed my gender and saved $5,000 on my car insurance.
Then I changed it back to get a cheap haircut.
Yeah. Hey man, it's
I mean,
everything's fluid these days, right?
Well, yeah, and like you could get into serious like criminal like you can call yourself whatever gender you want, and if people don't like agree with you, then you know, call in the RCMP. It's just like
Yeah.
it's a hate crime.
Yeah. Well, in short, the whole liberal government's retarded.
Yeah.
well,
It's another
say
way.
this.
Our foreign
you-
minister, like, was she one of the people appointed because it's 2016? Like, Christian
Probably.
Freeland, was she one of these
Yes.
people who was like promoted to that position, even though she had like didn't have the experience and the qualifications, but it was just because
Probably.
So
Apparently,
here's
she's
the
not
thing,
even there
because
half
of
the
that
time.
policy. We don't know.
yeah, but
Yeah.
But Fox News is specifically pointing out that like when she goes to the U.S., like she's instead of seriously talking trade to trade negotiators, she's out lobbying governors and congressmen.
Yeah, I read that as well.
Even
Embarrassment.
Fox, that's stupid.
Yeah. Fox is calling you stupid. You stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah.
So here's a question: if you do go to jail through human rights tribunal and type of thing because you incorrectly identified your gender, can you then claim your gender as female and go to female prison?
Ooh. Hopefully. Because I've watched a few of those women in prison movies over the years, and I'm not gonna lie. Some interesting stuff goes on there.
Were they
Mhm.
documentaries?
I'm surprised that hasn't come up yet. That some just like some hardened criminal type of thing, just like I'm a woman now.
Yeah.
I'm going to I
Oh,
want to go to
totally
female
will.
prison.
Yeah.
Surprised that hasn't come up yet.
Yeah, and it's protected. Yeah, no, like it doesn't matter. Like how can you disprove what someone is saying when it doesn't have to do with reality?
Yeah, when it's all make believe anyway.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Disregard your reality and substitute my own.
Oh, should we beat that one to death?
Yeah, I think that
I
one
think
is let's move on to this other horrible black pill.
This is
This is any facts. We just bashed it.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fine. It's not like the rest of the media gives facts.
Yeah, it's
At
true.
least,
Facts
at
are
least we
overrated.
admit to not giving facts.
It happened, and we're not a part of it because we're bad at negotiating, apparently.
Yeah, and Trudeau's an idiot, but whatevs.
But
That's a
it's
fact.
ridiculous. If
Yeah.
even all the stuff, like all the bad press and like the president of Mexico complaining about like Trump and Trump's like, oh, you're going to pay for the wall and all this stuff and all the stuff he's been saying about them.
And they still sat down at the table.
and then still like Mexico still slipped in there and knew enough to deal with Trump instead of being like some posturing jackass. Like
Yeah, put their big boy pants on, do big boy
yeah.
stuff.
yeah.
showing. I bet she never once showed his socks.
Yeah.
It's almost like he understood that his economy required it.
Yeah. Weird.
It's like he was concerned about his country's welfare.
I know, who would have thunk? It's
Yeah.
crazy, right? It's a crazy
Well,
thought.
if only we had elected someone like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not going to get a fancy job at the UN, that's for sure, though.
Probably not. No.
Touche. Where are we on this one? He never served. So next one?
Yeah, this one is
This was. I remember reading this and I put it in the thing, and I just like, of all the things I've ever talked about in Canadian news, this is the most disgusting and
Yeah.
disappointing and disgusting thing that I can
Yeah.
imagine, kind of thing. So I guess I wrote a little spiel about it. Should I just read that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
So back in February of this year, when Brock Blazchuk asked Trudeau at the town hall why the government was fighting veterans groups in courts when they had promised to treat them better, Justin Trudeau at the time gave the answer that veterans groups were asking for more than they were able to give right now, or veterans specifically were asking for more than they were able to give right now. And right now there's an ongoing situation in Nova Scotia where a Christopher Garnier, 30, is retrieving post-traumatic stress disorder treatment, which is paid for by the Veterans Affairs group. But he never served in the military, and he's not a veteran. But he's allowed and given that treatment because he's the son of a veteran. But the bad part is that the source of his trauma was when he murdered an off-duty police officer, Catherine Campbell.
Yeah,
I'm confused though. Is he out or is he still in jail?
No, he's in jail.
Okay. So
but somehow it's the Veterans Affairs that's footing the bill for this. Not the prison, but Veterans Affairs is handling the
care of this lunatic.
Yeah.
He deserves nothing really.
So, but like, he's 30 years old. Like, I don't understand why he'd be covered under his father's Veterans Affairs.
Yeah,
So,
we're not talking
I
like
have
health
comments.
insurance.
Maybe
VAC
next to
covers
kin.
certain things amongst your family members if you're a veteran. And it doesn't matter if you're a military veteran or CMP. The Veterans Affairs covers both groups equally, whether you're a reservist, Reg Force, or RCMP in some capacity. And there are rules and regulations around how those benefits are distributed. Some of that applies to spouses and children. I am not aware of anything in any of the VAC paperwork that would entitle this individual to any care from VAC.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, especially like, if it works similar to private health insurance, you're covered as the employee so long as you work there. And then your kids and your spouse are, but once your kid is, either 18 or graduated from school, whichever comes sort of later, you're done.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking. I'm like, if this kid was, let's say he was 16 years old and he was in jail for doing this, and it's like, I can easily see how that would happen because, okay, from the veterans office, they just see 16-year-old son of veteran requires PTSD. They're not going to look up his name and see what his backstory is and things like that.
Yeah.
They're just gonna, and it would just get rubber stamped and approved. But at 30 years old, I don't understand how he's still, a dependent of the father at that point and would be covered under his VA.
Yeah, like he wouldn't be covered under any employer's benefit plan or anything like that. Like he wouldn't be able to go get glasses and prescription medication.
And the thing that's super annoying is like, why are they like the guy's in jail? Isn't and I don't think this guy should get any sort of treatment for this. His treatment for this is he's in jail. But like, aside from that, like if you're sick in jail, they cover it. Like the fact that he's getting treated out of the VA's pocket.
Yeah, he'd have a counselor
coming out of some guy that actually needs that. And
there'd be a counselor provided at the jail.
So it's double infuriating. Like,
here's my take on it: is he strangled Catherine Campbell to death. Imagine how long that would take. Imagine strangling someone to death.
Oh yeah,
having all of those seconds, like could have been 60 seconds, could have been 80 seconds. He could have quit any time, and he chose not to at that time. I don't give a damn about his post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like the
death penalty.
So there's a couple of things about this that bother me greatly. The VAC thing notwithstanding, because why Veterans Affairs Canada is paying for him to receive PTSD treatment. Also, the fact that some doctor somewhere decided to grant him that he has PTSD from committing murder, because that's not emphasized enough in this article from the CBC. The third thing is the judge and jury that found this individual guilty and provided a sentencing. They only decided to put him in jail for 13 years as a result, or as part of the being in conjunction with his PTSD. this is not a 13 and a half years in jail worthy offense. This
is life, no parole.
Someone find me some oak. Find me some oak and some hemp, because there are ways to solve this problem, and putting him in jail for 13 years is not the correct way to solve the problem. I do want to say that friend of the show, Colin Saunders, does look particularly dashing in his photo in this same article.
He looks very awesome.
Colin has been interviewed by the CBC asking what his opinion is as a retired artillery sergeant who has 20 plus years experience in the Canadian Forces and has no doubt had interactions, less than positive interactions, with Veterans Affairs Canada. And Colin does an outstanding job of raising the points that our government needs to do something to support our actual veterans, not this jackass. Those are my words, not Colin's.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he echoes those in a slightly better way, at least on air. But yeah, like it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I mean, if the government's going to foot the bill one way or the other for this guy's PTSD, at least don't fucking pull it out of the veterans' pockets, right? Like, you know, because they have a budget, right? Like every wing of the government has a budget, and if we have to pay for this guy's PTSD, which we all agree we shouldn't, it should definitely not be coming out of Veterans Affairs pocket. It should just be coming out of the prison's pocket, because I said prison pocket. That's awesome. But
Gavin's right. And like every division has a, you know, they have a budget, and unfortunately the veterans budget is the only one that seems to have a limit to it. So take it out of one of the limitless budgets, and if you're,
and then at least this way, some actual veteran that's gone and helped people in some way that is needing something can be covered. Because I know a heck of a lot of guys that served that ain't getting shit. You know, Colin being one of them, Brock being another one of them. I mean, so many of them need help and deserve help because they gave all they could, and they're not getting a nickel back even, you know? Like, it's disgusting.
And again, you don't get to run, you know, massive deficits and then claim that there's no money for the veterans. You know, if you're willing to borrow money for all your random pet projects, you damn well better be able to afford to pay your veterans.
Yeah, that, or you could, you know, take a page out of Trump's book and pay it out of his own salary.
That'd be the day.
You know,
I don't even know who signed the paperwork off on saying, yeah, just go get it from Veterans Affairs. They'll pay for this, no problem. Like, who thought who was in the right mind to think that was a good idea to begin with, to even go that route? I don't know.
Someone trying to balance a budget at the prison.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
You know, it's quite possible that we paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars, or like at least tens of thousands of dollars for his defense if he used a public defense. Plus his prosecution and the investigation.
And his incarceration and...
Yeah, and
I have to say,
and the pension for the deceased officer. It's just...
Yeah.
I 100% agree with the sentiment that 13 years isn't enough. And yet when I read this article, I was surprised that it was 13 years.
Yeah.
Like, just considering what we've been seeing lately, I'm like, oh wow, he got more than 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's sad. I mean, that just shows the state of affairs, right?
Yeah.
Was that a Nova Scotia court or was that a federal court?
Yes.
Well, it'd be federal crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't just give this guy some haikus and send him on his way.
Yeah.
Or maybe one of those Sudoku books.
They'll
or
have
whatever,
the haikus.
right?
The haikus will be available if he wants to get them.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't actively give them to people.
Well, no, because that'd be
well, like
costing too much.
Yeah, but the Greyhound bus killer who decapitated the guy's head and ate the eyeballs, it was just like they think he was out in a matter of years, and it's just like I said, all right, you stay on your meds now.
Yeah, now that nobody's watching you, you stay on.
No monitoring whatsoever. Yeah. Just hope you're good.
Yeah, less monitoring than we get. Yeah, as gun owners in Canada. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, luckily they're trying to fix that.
Oh, yeah.
They'll just take the
Then,
guns away, and then
Yeah,
then they
then
don't have to monitor us all the
we'd
time.
like to thank all the CSIS officers that tune into the show and record everything. Keep up the good work.
Fighting the good fight.
Yeah, if you guys have any special filters you can run to clean up audio and remove clicks and hums and fans and stuff like that, can you please send us a copy?
Yeah. So just email a link to feedback.
Yes.
That'd be much appreciated.
Yeah. Give us your login and password at work and just tell
Yeah.
All right.
Alright,
So
where are we
our next article.
Yeah.
Basic income recipients will sue Ontario over the cancellation. It's just like
It's like Tesla all over again, for fuck's sakes.
yes, yeah.
Whose money are they going to use to fund the lawsuit?
Probably ours.
Not theirs. Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably some pro bono douche.
Yeah, because he knows he's going to get a massive paycheck out of this. Like,
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
F this and all 4,000 plaintiffs or however many people were involved in.
Yeah,
No.
fuck. They don't deserve shit. Shit.
They deserve
So,
less than
I
shit.
also
They should,
like-
in fact, be having 40% of their shit taxed and given to someone less
yeah,
fortunate.
Yes.
yeah. So they learn how
Yeah,
much
I also
taxes
like-
suck.
I like the very beginning of the article from like lawyer Mike Perry. Quote,
Yes.
no one likes to sue, quote, Perry says. Like, you're a lawyer.
Yeah,
Your
you can
entire
hear
existence.
Literally what you do for a living. Literally
You
what
could-
you do for a living.
Yeah. You can hear you can literally hear the pause and the smile.
Marty likes the beginning. I like the end. Donna Bowman, one of the plaintiffs, said the program let her buy her own groceries instead of resorting to using food banks. Really, Donna? Because that's
the
not your
difference?
money. So
Jesus. Here I am
explain to me.
walking up and down aisles like a freaking idiot when I could just go get a couple of bags from the food bank.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
So like, I don't
you hear
understand the
yourself?
point of putting these things in here. Yeah, we gave people free money, and then they're like, look, these people use that free money to buy stuff. Look at all the stuff they bought with this free money, guys.
Well, that, and like
Working.
it was
It's
a
like, well, yeah, you give people money, they'll buy stuff with it.
It's just,
well, that it was a trial, right? Which means that at some point it's going to possibly end if it doesn't go right.
Exactly. 2 months or 6 months.
They were explained in the get-go that this is a trial thing to try it out and see if it works.
yeah, it was running like a year and a
doesn't,
couple of
just
months.
like the people getting the money. They don't
Yeah.
work.
Exactly.
It reminds me of like Louis C.K. did a bit before it came out that he masturbates into ficuses, but he did a bit in one of his
Who
comedy
doesn't?
shows, and it's basically he went on a.
Weinstein.
What was that, Marty?
Did Louis C.K. do that too?
Yeah,
Yeah, but he
What
asked.
the fuck?
he asked. Yeah, he's not an
Yeah.
animal. He just
Yeah, the
Yeah.
plant consented.
Yeah.
and
Under duress, but he still asked.
but he was talking about he went on an airplane and they basically said, oh, this is one of the first like planes that we have in the company that's going to have Wi-Fi on the plane, and everyone's like, oh, cool, and she said, but it's not working. And the guy beside him goes, well, that sucks. And it's just like this thing you had literally for like 3 seconds. Like you're already you take it away, and they're like, well, that sucks. This
Oh, dear.
this program didn't even exist like before April 2017. It's just like, and now it's just you can't take that away
I
from
can't
us.
survive
I'm
without
gonna have to
it.
get a job.
I won't.
Are you
I'm not gonna be able to
serious?
eat.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, a couple of local Facebook groups, like just people always, and just someone's like, oh, you know how hard it is to get it. Oh, I need my hours need to be within this and that, and it's like, yeah, and it's just like I have to pay for daycare. It's like, yeah, been there, done it, yeah. It's like I have to do this, and I'm like, yeah, get to work, yeah, get to work, and someone's just like, McDonald's is always hiring. Like they just said that like 3 times in a row. It's like, but I need to do this. McDonald's is always hiring.
Yeah.
So
Well,
true
Hey
there.
guys, remember when we all died when net neutrality ended?
Ooh,
Still not happy about that.
Mhm.
maybe that's what screwed
It's
you.
one of those things where it's like,
Yeah.
you know, every every like new thing every week. It's always the end of the world. Nothing ever changes.
Yeah.
Also true.
But yeah. Fuck Tesla for emboldening these bastards for basic income.
That just fucking blows my mind. How it even, and like the judge is like, oh, they totally had a leg to stand on, and yeah, they deserve this money.
Because of that precedent for that bullshit, and because the sort of anti-Ford sentiment for him canceling all kinds of stuff, I'm sure that these fucks will get their money too.
Probably. I won't be surprised.
But fingers crossed they don't, and they just have to get a job at McDonald's.
I mean, regardless whether they
They're
get the money,
always
they
hiring.
still have to get a job eventually. I mean, this will only tie them over for another year, even if they do win, right? So they will have to get a job eventually.
Here's the thing.
Maybe
if we have to pay them out, we will still save a crap ton of money by this program ending.
Yes,
exactly.
Carrying itself further, not expanding.
Yeah,
it's
agreed.
Win.
Agreed.
Yeah, like I said, even if they get, you all get $50,000 each or whatever the hell it might turn out to be. That's only, like I said, 1 year's worth of paying them out, and then they get nothing anyways.
Yeah, but you can get a job.
Not the same thing with this. Like the same thing with the Tesla. It's still a win. We still save a ton of money by not continuing that program.
Did we?
That's 10.
Yeah. Did we actually talk about the Tesla cancellation or the fact that Tesla's suing?
Yes.
I don't know. I wasn't on last week, but
yeah, we covered that they got it and that they won.
I think we we talked about the cancellation, and there's the very upset teacher in Toronto who's going to lose his
$10,000 grant.
Yeah.
From a legality, I understand how they won. Like when you look at the
case, they deserve it? No,
but because the program shouldn't exist in the first place.
Exactly.
But the way it's canceled and whether or not they were covered under the limited, like similar to the other manufacturers where any of the orders before a certain date were still being paid out. The question was whether or not they were included in that grace period. I can understand when you look at it legally how they can be covered in that. So I can understand how the legal decision went their way, and ultimately we should just be pissed off at the previous government for implementing this program.
So exactly what I was going to say.
To end the program.
You can understand why legally they do have an angle, but the shame is that none of this is going to fall on Kathleen Wynne.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all going to be on.
You see the articles like bashing Ford for like, oh, this is what happens. You try to cancel this stuff, and then you end up paying for it. And it's like, no, we still save a shit ton of money, and all of this money, this shit ton of money that you're complaining about us now having to spend, we were spending, and you were happy about it.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was the same thing when he got rid of the $6 million man at Hydro. Everyone's just like, oh, it's probably going to take more to get rid of him than it would be to. It's like, what?
Well, no.
Yeah, not really.
No.
He managed that in what, 5 days?
Yeah.
6 days? Like that was
got right on that.
And they're like, oh, he's getting a severance. He's like, no, he's just cashing out the stock that you gave him. You gave him that money, not me.
Yeah. But that's going to be one of those things. They go, that's got nothing to do with Wynne. That's all on Ford.
Yeah.
He cost that money. No, not quite.
No, not really. He was getting that money long before Ford came along.
Well,
all right. That basic income done?
Yeah.
This next one burns my ass.
Yes.
It's almost like it's like entrapment. Like they're trying to set it up to but then the gun owner is just following the rules and nothing happened of it. But they're trying to swing it so that.
Well, yeah, that's
illegal guns. They're so easy to get. But
that's what chaps my ass.
Everybody got the illegal gun.
The system worked as it should.
Yeah.
And they're using it as an example to show how easy it is for people to buy. Maybe we should talk about.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's give a synopsis first.
Yeah.
All right.
CBC, this article's from the CBC. A Hamilton buyer offered twice the price for a gun, a used handgun, to a seller on the internet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
there was a catch, though.
Yes, there was a catch. They did not have a legal license.
Yeah.
They complained
so
that their license had expired and that they just wanted to get the new gun without having to redo their license.
They didn't want to go
Wait,
through all
so-
bullshit of
But
licensing.
the giant
Yeah.
heading 3 heading a third of the way down the article that says that more gun crimes are happening in Canada, and the other giant heading that says system isn't working in the same article.
Yeah.
Are you saying that those are in fact not accurate and the system is working exactly as intended?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
legal,
legally,
responsible gun owner did the
funny
responsible
that.
thing.
Law abiding.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all talk to each other there.
Sorry.
But this is an excellent example of the system is working.
Yeah, responsible gun owner asked for his RPAL and he couldn't provide one and said, "Oh, sorry, I can't sell this to you."
And then reported it.
Yeah. And then somehow some
Yeah, took it a step further and reported it to the RCMP,
Well,
who did nothing.
I guess they're
and then to the
right.
police that did
Better
nothing.
ban handguns. That's the only
yeah.
solution. If we ban handguns, then
Well,
Yeah.
the police did something. They went to visit the Hamilton police station, and Stony Creek didn't go any better. When she showed the phone with the texting back and forth to the officer at the front desk and let him messages, he handed the phone back and said, "What do you want me to do about it? No crime has been committed."
Except for, trying to purchase a
buy
gun
a legal
illegally.
gun.
Well,
that's
that's
a crime to attempt to purchase a gun illegally. I'm pretty sure that's a crime.
Well,
Yeah.
when we get our records scanned every morning, it's to keep us in line. But you try to point out someone trying to circumvent the rules and obtain a handgun illegally.
And
A handgun, the worst of all guns, a handgun.
And even if trying to buy one without a license isn't illegal, why do you want one without a license? Like, they knew enough to try to say that they have a license, it's expired, rather than just like, oh, I need a license? Okay.
But I don't understand why they would even
So-
want one, because they're not going to be able to get an ATT to take it to the range.
Yeah. And without that, you
It's a
can't.
valid point there, Marty.
Yeah.
Valid point.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Can you imagine selling that though and go, now remember, as soon as you get home, you dremel out the serial number. It's like, okay. He was a nice criminal though. Like, I'm sure
He
he was
wasn't
right
going to do
on
anything
that.
bad with it. He said he just wanted to shoot squirrels with it and such.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is exactly showing that the system, for the most part, is working. Like, I'm sure there are people that are shitty that have legally acquired firearms that are selling them illegally. Like, there was the one lady a few weeks ago that got caught that only got 3.5 years for it. Not for each gun she sold illegally, but like as a package deal, like a bunch of guns she sold that are still out there on the streets, God knows where, 3.5 years. So that's where the system is broken.
It was like, wasn't it like 60 days per gun or something like that?
Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
where the system is broken. It's not broken where people are buying gun or trying to buy guns and they're not getting them. It's broken when you catch somebody that has sold a gun illegally and for a bunch of them only gets like 60 days per
Months.
each or 3.5 years total. Like, fuck, throw the book at these people.
Well,
Like,
I think every
jail-
firearm
15 years for gun trafficking. What
Yeah.
the shit?
Yeah, like with all the hoops that we have to go to in order to acquire one legally, anyone that has a license that sells a gun illegally, throw the book at them. They know
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Like, no
Yeah,
problem with that.
every firearms owner
Yeah.
I know is like they're from less regulations and restrictions, but just harsh penalties. Like,
Yeah, you break the rules that we have, there should be no maximum sentence, and whatever the minimum is should be raised drastically.
yeah, should be very, 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 very harsh.
Yeah.
Like, we understand in this country that having the firearms are a privilege, and it's our responsibility to keep that privilege. And that, you have to know every single law there is to know when it comes to
Yeah.
purchasing, selling,
Yeah.
owning these handguns and firearms.
Yeah.
the response from that Hamilton police station, that's a perfect example of law enforcement not policing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
And
definition,
then they wonder why we have a
policing-
gang problem and a gun problem.
Yeah, like policing is crime prevention as well as just law enforcement. It's not just penalizing those that breaks the law. It's being
Yeah.
preemptive,
Yeah, proactive.
and trying being proactive and trying to steer people out of the crime.
Well, yeah,
And
obviously
here's
this
for
person.
example, even if you say a crime has not committed yet, that's a perfect opportunity for you to step in and get in touch with this person and find out why and potentially prevent, because this person now has not is actively seeking an illegal firearm.
Yeah.
They didn't get one here. They're still seeking an illegal firearm. They're going to go.
As far as I'm concerned, they need to be, that needs to be noted, and that needs to be recorded that this person saw
maybe they don't need it to commit a crime. Maybe like someone's trying to harm them and they want it for protection. But again, the cops should know that, because they will still be able to prevent a crime happening against that person per se, rather than that person committing one. But at the end of the day, if you need some sort of a handgun that you don't want anyone to know about, there's a crime associated with that about to happen somewhere at some point in time, likely. Like, no one's just
the
like,
fact
oh,
that
I
they're
want
trying
this.
to illicitly acquire the handgun at this point is enough for me to say that that's
There's
a reason for the police to investigate.
Yeah, there's something not right here.
So here's one thing. So in the article, it says police confirmed someone did come in on August 23rd to report a, quote, alleged gun sale, quote, but that the person left before giving a name or filing a report. And then, quote, we take this issue extremely seriously, quote, wrote
Then why did you
Constable
let them
Brian
leave?
Edwards in an email. And it's like, there's just so much about this. It's like, exactly. There's no, like, this person left because no one was willing to, they didn't want to do the work to fill out the report, so they just sent the lady on the way. And then our CBC News don't even get in touch with people. They just send the police department an email and say, hey, did you guys have something come by there? So, like, we have our police basically not doing their job. We have our CBC not doing their job, not actually getting in touch with these people, finding out what happened, just sending an email off to the police station to see if they can get a quote for the article.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, at least they asked for a quote.
I guess just. I mean, how many levels of government could be shitty in one article?
All of them.
Yeah.
The whole article
all
is
levels of government all the time.
Yeah, I'm not too happy with Professor Lee either. Seems like he's an expert in scarology. He's just
bullshitology.
Bullshitology. Yeah. It says more crime guns found in Canada, and that concern is shared by so and so Lee, an associate professor of sociology at the University of Toronto. It's just like,
but I mean that
it's a big
Toronto. No one cares.
What gods of name does he know about it?
Have we covered that on the show? Like what exactly a crime gun is?
Yeah.
So I'll actually, in that specific sense, I'll come to Lee's defense in that, or try to find his quote in here. But essentially, that's one of his complaints, is that we don't have the data around.
Yeah, he says it's a big problem when it comes to
that.
When it comes to crime guns in Canada, nobody knows where they're coming from. Like, they do not have. Yeah, you're right. They do not do any. They put as much effort in that freaking cop at the front desk who said, "What do you want me to do? There's been no crime committed."
Yeah, but I think part of the problem as well is this term of crime gun, because when people hear that, they think that it's a gun that's being used in the commission of a violent crime, like a murder or a robbery or something like that. And that is not necessarily the case. It is any firearm that is found at a crime site.
Yeah, so, it all depends. For the most part, that when we hear the crime gun stats, it all comes back to like that one study that was done for like a 6-month period in BC. It's kind of usually that's like everything references back to that one study. And that study, as Gavin said, it was like anytime they found a gun with anything at all, it was a crime gun.
Yeah, so if somebody committed suicide, that's a crime scene. Yeah. And that is now a crime gun.
Even though it was never touched or used in committing a crime.
Or if
as we discussed before in the podcast in that study, it was, and I'd have to go back and take a look at the data because I don't have the top of my head here, but I'm pretty certain that as we went through it, it was like any gun that had the serial number filed off was categorized as domestically sourced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or any gun that had a serial number that couldn't be positively traced to another country also sourced within the country.
Yeah, they don't have Dremels in America.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
It would be anything that was found at any sort of thing. So I mean, if Tim and I were out, drinking and got in a car accident, and they found a gun in the trunk because we'd been at the range, that would also be a crime gun.
Mm-hmm.
I would say yes.
Not that would happen.
I can't imagine that happening.
But stupid things like that, where you're like, yeah, but that wasn't even used in the commission of the crime that we're talking about. It was just present at the scene because two idiots were, like.
Yeah, it was sitting in his gun locker, but it's now a crime gun.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like if anything happens at your home, like if someone breaks into your home to steal something and you had guns in your home, that is now potentially a crime gun, even though you're the victim. Because it was present at a crime scene.
I refuse to be a victim.
Agreed, which is why I have guns. But I mean, that's the whole problem. And by calling it a crime gun, though, for those that don't know, it makes it sound super scary because it's like, oh man, crime guns are on the rise. Well, gun ownership is on the rise. Legal, responsible gun ownership is on the rise. So if a crime happens and there's one present, even if it wasn't used in any way to do with whatever crime was committed, it's now a crime gun. So of course that's going to go up with that as well. Like that's
October 22nd, municipal elections, especially if you're in a Toronto or Ottawa where you have city councilors calling for gun bans. Find out who's running for your area that is not making stupid decisions like these and vote them in.
Yeah.
100%.
Agreed. On to the next one.
Yeah, let's
the next one. Yeah. This is from the Toronto Sun. First Nations chief receives $55,000 from the Tides Foundation.
Are they the ones that make those pods?
No, not at all.
Oh.
Think more George Soros, less laundry.
So the people that eat the pods follow him. I got you.
Yes, yeah. The Tides Foundation, what they do is they are like a big green hammer that represents.
I think you mean a big red hammer.
Yeah, but they go everything like they basically, in my opinion, they are a tool of investor groups that will go and attack industry to hamper industry, so that investment groups can make calculate. They can stack the odds and things going out. So these people protest and whatnot, pipelines and stuff.
So like Greenpeace, I guess you're saying?
It's kind of like that. You have to look at their website and see what they think of themselves and what they say to themselves, and then you have to look at what they do. You have to look for how they pop up in the news, and it's just like they were against the oil sands and stuff like that. But it's just
and how they pay protesters and this and
so
that.
What we have is and there's supposed to be ties with George Soros, who's like an investment, banker.
Yes, investment banker.
Yeah. So when you find out that they're like an Indian chief from northern Alberta who was, against the oil sands, and he was protesting the oil sands, got $55,000 in his bank account for doing that. You can.
He had a very principled, very principled stance on the subject. 55,000 principles, to be exact.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they like have this guy fly this guy out to be at the Neil Young concert in Toronto, that is the concert, and this guy and all is that dedicated to protesting the oil sands, because Toronto's a big oil sands city.
Yeah,
where all of the oil industry is located. Apparently, that seems the place to go.
Yeah.
Just like Toronto and Neil Young.
Yeah, maybe all of the cannabis oil is in Toronto, but
they'd probably all be down to build a pipeline from California for that.
Yeah, or just a pipe. Yeah,
yeah.
but not a peace pipe though, because that would be cultural appropriation.
Yes, of course.
Very careful not to do that.
Yeah. So like it was interesting. They said like they flew him in to to be like a celebrity, like a like a symbol of the
like protest. A SJW rock star.
Yeah, because like this, like the article specifically points out, like you can't have people from the Tides Foundation come up and say
that would be too obvious.
It'd be too obvious. It'd just be like Americans. And if you brought Neil Young up, then like Neil Young, who was also there, like he lives on a 1,500-acre estate near San Francisco, so they can't just bring this person who came up, like you think of him as like a proud Canadian, but he's like living in this like little barony down in San Francisco. Like you can't have him come up here and tell us that we should be buying our oil from Saudi Arabia. But
so I mean, like this article makes another good point. Like let's say a foreign oil company, they used ExxonMobil as an example, was depositing secret amounts in the bank accounts of MPs. It would be a huge scandal. Similarly, if it was found out that this guy, let's say this guy was, pro the oil sands and was pro getting the pipeline built, and he's like, yeah, as a member of the First Nations, we think this would be great. And then they found out that he had accepted $55,000 from ExxonMobil. It would be in all our newspapers. It'd be this huge scandal, and instead, this is just nothing.
It's perfectly acceptable. I don't know why you guys are all up in arms about this.
Yeah, it's perfectly acceptable. Like the when the Tides Foundation filed their 138-page tax forms with the IRS, and then they found the $55,000 was traced to a numbered company 850450 Alberta Limited, and then they had to search that Alberta's corporate registry and revealed that it was actually owned by another company called the Acden Group Limited, which had changed its name twice in the past 4 years. And then Adam and the other band politicians were directors and shareholders in trust for the band. So it's not straight up.
It's not so easy to follow. It's almost like
I don't know how you pay your bills, but I always pay my bills through several numbered companies.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, that changed names a few times throughout the year.
$55,000 at all. $55,000 in whiskey.
Yeah, I'm curious if the Tides Foundation has any ties to the dairy board or something like that. That'd be interesting.
They could probably like what they would do is like they probably have people who would say, I want you to destroy the dairy industry in Canada, and then they just go, okay, and then they'd have protesters in Canada just suddenly going, oh, these dairy cows are like pooing in streets and stuff like that. And just,
lactose.
And then
it's the lactose, guys.
Yeah. And then they'd petition, and the press would be stupid enough to give them enough press because they'd probably be in on it too. And then the next thing you know, the government would go, well, this is irresponsible. We're going to have to add like a $2 green fee, methane distribution, whatever.
We should all be vegetarians, obviously.
Yeah. You're gonna have to get cow fart
excise tax
credits,
and, de-cow fart our milk or something. Yeah,
and everyone's gonna be paying like $2 more for a bag of milk, and
there'll be grants for buying what's it called, almond milk.
Yeah.
Stay away from the soy though.
Well, I'm sure they would prefer you. Maybe that's what they'll do. They'll push you to buy the soy. I mean,
yeah.
Well. All right. Well, I think we've
beat that one.
Beat that one to death again.
All right. Next. Ford tells post-secondary schools to develop strong free speech policies or face budget cuts.
How dare he?
I know. You can't tell us to have free speech.
How dare he?
That's why I support them by buying their trucks.
What's that, Marty?
So that's why I support them by buying their trucks.
Yeah. They may only run downhill, but at least they support free speech.
Absolutely.
I enjoy a couple of the statements in this. There's a quote from the professor at Waterloo, a poli-sci professor no less. It says, the politics behind this and the motivations of this premier are quite clear. This plays very well with certain segments of his base. Yeah, like the segments of his base that support free speech.
Interesting that he was allowed to make that statement. Directly,
someone put him back in the gulag. He seems to have gotten out.
Yeah, he seems to be speaking against the government.
I mean, just look who wrote the article. It's the Star, right? So obviously everything Ford says is obviously hate speech and racist and, just can't possibly make sense or be good. So.
Oh, God, he's literally Hitler.
Yeah.
I think he's actually double Hitler.
Oh, God, he's literally double Hitler.
With the side of Trump. Yeah.
Oh. The worst. Yeah.
But it's just like, it's a strange thing. Like, it makes sense. Like, but it just seems a little naive. Like, I don't know what country thinks he's in. Like, he's in that and fighting back about that.
Free speech on campus is a far right issue because most of the controversies are about people with conservative views. So clearly this is just because the Nazis don't have a safe space.
Yeah.
So would they say this plays well with a certain segment of his base? What
Who's
segment do you think they mean? Like those with common sense? Or
Yes. The people who support having free speech in this country.
Yeah, those that have unpopular views they wish to speak publicly that do not violate our hate speech laws. I believe those are the people he's talking about.
But it's going to please like everyone who voted for him, and it's going to please more than that. There are going to be people who are centrists or liberals or NDP who still
believe in free speech.
But
yeah, because that allows them to say the ridiculous things that they want to say as well.
I love the sign in the article. Dr. Peterson, we see you. It's like, oh my God! Like,
I like that Laurier has offered to share their experience with the Ontario government, and it's like, oh yeah, the one that's probably the most public egregious violator of free speech.
Yes,
they're offering their expertise to the government to explain how to have a free speech on campus.
Yeah.
In the situation that got like disgusting and like they're just upset that it became public, but they created that entire situation.
Yeah.
There was no student complaint.
Yeah. Well, I mean, luckily, like Ford's got these snitch lines already up and running. So if anyone doesn't let you speak your mind on school, you can use those to call it in.
Send his SS after them.
Yeah.
You let them speak.
Send those jackbooted RCMP guys in there to crush the free speech.
What happened at Laurier? I'm not familiar with the story.
That's the Lindsay Shepherd.
Yeah, the one that didn't even.
Yeah, she played a Jordan Peterson video to her class just because she's talking about he had made a video about the use of pronouns and how it's going to affect like the basic rules of grammar, like will not allow. You can't call everyone they.
Yeah, instead of presenting one side of an argument, which is the one that is popular and enforced by the educational institution, she presented two sides to an argument and asked the people watching to make up their mind.
She was a self-described. She was a liberal and was posting his as an example of essentially the wrong opinion.
Yeah, she didn't even like Peterson. She didn't even agree with Peterson.
She was against what he was saying
at the time.
But
that's also important to know.
But it's gone crazy.
Yeah, and she was hauled in front of a 3-person kind of tribunal, and they just kind of harangued her for what she did, and basically told her. But luckily, she had recorded it all. It's all on YouTube. It's amazing. You gotta. It's disgusting.
Told her into some sort of private.
And what, the other students just went crazy over her?
No, there was actually no
not a single person complained.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly someone complained, but they never bothered to
Had the
answer that
balls
question
to
when
say
she
that.
asked it.
My favorite part was
So-
when she says to the tribunal, she says, like, I don't even agree with like Peterson. I basically just like, it's not like I told them, here's a Jordan Peterson video and you should agree with him. I basically let them make up their own. Like I didn't, I let them make up their own mind. And then the guy said, well, that's kind of part of the problem.
The
Yeah,
problem.
go back and listen to episode 110,
Okay.
and then probably
Excellent interning.
I try.
Yeah.
Probably 128 and 139, but definitely 110 because we listened to the audio of some of the audio of the what do you call that? The tribunal, the counseling,
Yeah,
the happening.
the recording that she
110,
made.
one what?
110.
Go
Go
listen to the act-
listen to episode
If
110,
anybody who's listening to this podcast has not listened to it, listen to the actual recording itself.
and then
Yeah.
listen to us on 110. Should talk about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Buy some
Like, listen
bandages.
to it from it's
Get
one
some
of the
training.
few,
Ralph Goodale.
it's one of the few news stories that the actual source material is available,
So it's not all
as
just
opposed to
hearsay.
just you're not just looking at the filtered opinion on it. You can actually listen to the actual recording of what went on, and then from
Yeah.
there you can look at the opinion pieces.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, this is recent, obviously. 110. That was what, last year then?
Not even. This is like
Really?
40, 110, so 39 weeks ago. However long ago that was.
Yeah, so maybe December, maybe.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't know. I don't math well.
Last fall, I guess.
Yeah, I don't math well when I've been doing it. But
Yeah,
I,
I think-
looked up
yeah.
the episode number.
I think-
Where do you want?
Yeah, children being conceived while listening to episode 110 are probably being born right about now.
True.
No, those kids are early achievers. They're already
Are
been
they?
born.
yeah, top 10
Anyone who
percentile at least.
Absolutely. If you listen to our podcast, your children will be better.
They're
Yeah,
already starting a firearms business in Canada.
yeah.
They sell them at double the price.
Yeah. Well, only to people that don't have licenses. Otherwise, if you have a license, you pay regular price.
Oh, we had some YouTube feedback. Drew
Excellent.
is asking what everyone's opinion was on the Maxime Bernier and Conservative Party of Canada.
We should just do a show on that. Once
Yeah,
more
you guys never
details have been
didn't
released
discuss
about
it
his
yet?
new party.
Not really, but I'll give
Okay.
my quick answer is, and we've said it before the whole thing. What exactly has Bernier said that is not true?
Yeah, I'm not happy
Exactly.
that I don't need so. I'm
He
not
says a lot
happy
of
with.
stuff in French, and I don't know that it's got me suspicious.
Yeah, I like his libertarian standpoint. I did join the Conservative Party specifically to try to get him to be the leader. I'm not happy that we're even remotely. There's a chance of splitting any of the right this close to an election.
If he can
What is
manage,
he
I'll say
thinking?
this: we were talking this before. Like, love Bernier, love his ideology, and he is not an like idealist, but he's a terrible politician. Like, he's bad at politics.
Well, yeah, the fact that he split off just this close to an election
But-
shows that he doesn't know how to be a politician.
yeah, but given like the shit that he's been given, I don't blame him one bit.
Well,
No, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
but like, when you look at like, he's bad at being a politician, and by that I mean like that's a compliment, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, Andrew Scheer is
Actually,
good,
yes, this is true.
good at being a politician. Like when Andrew Scheer kind of
100%.
came in, like he played the game well and he took the leadership, even though
Yeah.
Maxime Bernier was winning for the first part. And then
Every single round, but the last
and then
one.
boom, because that's what you need to do with politicians. And
Well,
I
'cause
don't
it's
even
not
know.
about being the most liked; it's about being the least disliked.
Just
And
like
that-
you can make the same argument that like, oh, Hillary won the popular vote, but in the game that didn't matter.
Yeah.
You know,
So
it's,
yeah, we really should do a whole show on that because I think it could be pretty interesting. But
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
waiting for him to announce his
I-
party so that we can actually have more of a discussion than he's left the Conservative Party under
It's the
questionable
Libertarian Party.
circumstance.
He's going to be the Libertarian Party.
I
All
really
of
hope
the, like,
the actual
all of the
Libertarian
asshats
Party.
that you know that are like in the Libertarian Party right now, they're just going to jump over to his party and run as the candidates for his party instead.
That's what I'm
kind
going
of
to
what
do.
suspect is
I
gonna
mean,
happen.
Yeah. I really hope that it doesn't split the right. I don't blame him one bit for jumping ship, and I believe that everything that he has said about the Conservative Party is true.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think that for the most part, most people understand how critical this next election is.
And
even most people that like that side with Maxine, I think it's not going to pull as much as he would if it wasn't such a critical election.
Yeah, I think if anyone can pull it off, it's him, but I still think that we need to vote strategically because that is what the left does.
I think the Conservatives could have treated him a little better and we wouldn't be in this position, but...
Agreed.
You know
but
what?
I guess, I don't know, maybe save it for the episode because otherwise we could go on like this, I think, all night.
I'd say this, he probably wasn't too interested in working with Scheer.
Yeah.
I can't imagine someone who would be.
But it doesn't look
Right,
like Scheer
just like-
was interested in working with him either. I mean, the guy's dry as toast and awkward as fuck.
For a different reason is that, well, again, we'll get to this, but Scheer is trying to be, very middle ground, not pissing anybody off. That seems to be the strategy that they're trying to take to the next election. And
Which
Maxine's
is how we
not
got where
gonna
he
play
is.
to that well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's cozying up to the dairy board.
Yeah, he loves his milk.
Because that's a
huge,
whole...
agriculture is a huge part of the Conservative base, man.
Oh yeah, but there's a whole lot of like that, those notes and everything that got released just ahead of the Conservative policy thing, and I mean that's that there's a lot going on there with Scheer and the dairy board, and but
being influenced by big dairy. You heard it here, guys.
Yeah, I think that Bernier I think is a topic in and unto of itself. I mean, it broke my heart when he didn't win.
Yeah. All right, so now we enter the fun stories of the evening.
Pedo
Fun part of the
vans.
news.
Well, not quite.
Almost. They caught on to his game too quickly.
Yeah.
So from the Ottawa Citizen, the headline goes, "Police say free candy ban not a threat to public." Okay. Obviously, I haven't seen the effect sugar has on the brain and the liver.
Am I the only one that wants to find this van and add a Liberal Party logo to it as well?
No, that's a great idea.
It's already
I'm
red.
totally on board with that.
Free, exactly. It's a red van. Just add the Liberal logo. Free candy. Just have it driving around.
Or just a big picture of Trudeau, like right in front of the free candy. Like there's got that big wide panel, like a big canvas there. Just paint his face right there.
A photo of him with his shirt off.
And what's funny about that is it's like there are some Liberal MPs who didn't even put the Liberal logo on their signs in Ontario in the last election.
You don't want people to know.
Yeah, we're red, but you know.
Oh, it wasn't even red. It was like a pale fucking pink color.
Yeah.
If not at all. It was like as far removed from liberal red as you could get. Yeah.
Ottawa police have closed their investigation into a cargo van with the words "free candy" on the side panel, and it looks like it's duct tape, isn't it, guys? It's duct tape.
Yeah.
He didn't go to a deco place and
like they didn't want to why this guy's van over just for the joke, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's probably a buddy who did it, and then he probably just ran with it. He's like, whatever, I'll take it off.
Oh yeah,
like,
or he didn't notice. Like,
yeah.
He also thought it was funny.
Exactly. That's what I mean. He's probably thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, like
he probably finished his beer and threw it away in the back when the police.
Yeah, like I mean,
okay. So just quickly, in case we didn't mention this top. The article is about someone that has an old beat up panel van that somebody graffitied on the side of it, free candy, similar to the popular meme that we have all seen.
Yeah.
And on the side panel, and that it caused quite a stir on social media when the van was spotted in Centertown, along with reports of a suspicious-looking vehicle attempting to lure children.
Yeah,
Were
so
they,
people
were they
legit
really?
called the police about this.
Were they really?
in here.
Yeah.
I think just.
Hey, big boy.
I think. Do you like popsicles?
Yeah. I think this is exactly like when there was like those weirdos dressing up in clown outfits in the woods, like calling people into the woods. It's like, they're not really gonna murder people. They're just being shit disturbers, right?
I
Like,
think they're gonna get murdered, but somebody takes them seriously.
right? Like, like it's just they're not actually up to no good. They're just being dickheads, which is funny. Like, I don't know.
I mean, could you be more obvious? Like,
Yeah, like I don't think anyone
I don't
that's really gonna do harm to kids is gonna have a shitty pan with free candy and duct tape on the side of it. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
No, and let's be honest, the person doing the most harm to kids is wearing funny socks and
Yeah,
screwing up our free trade deals.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's
He doesn't
ridiculous.
discriminate. He hates adults and kids.
But
Yeah.
I want to know, like the other reports of someone trying to lure children. Like, is that legit, or was that all just born out of like these?
Yeah, did they see him
Overzealous.
glance at a child on the sidewalk
Yeah.
as he was driving by or something?
Or that, or
just-
like it was like I said, it was probably the same like with those people in the clown outfits, where they're like, "Come to me, children!" Like just like hamming it up and being like ridiculous, like and obviously so, but not like actually trying to lure children. Like, oh hey man, like no, for real, I've got candy. What do you want? Like, come with me. Like, we'll go get it. Like they were.
But I can just picture some boomers screwing up her courage and going, "Well, if it just saves one child from getting diddled, then I'd better call the police." Like it's just
Yeah, but
like
they
this is
pulled.
overzealous hall monitor bullshit. Like it's
Yeah,
just
but
like,
that person pulled their phone out of their fanny pack to call the cops. Like,
yeah. But that's what I mean. Like it did mention that the police said they had investigated several instances involving a suspicious vehicle attempting to lure children. But like,
did any of them say free candy on the side?
Yeah.
Though?
Mismatched description. I don't know.
Like, I'm sure they have investigated, sadly, several vehicles that trying to lure children. But if it's not a shitty van with free candy written on the side, it's not quite the same thing. Because I don't think they've stepped up their game by doing that. Like.
Yeah, it sounds. It's probably a pretty weak game, and it's kind of like dark to talk about. I kind of thinking of Walter Sobchak from The Big Lebowski. And it's like, you want a child? I can get you a child by 3:00 this afternoon. Believe me, they're away.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was talking about a toe, but
fucking amateur.
It's better nihilist, Donnie. You have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Shut the fuck, Donnie.
Really tied the room together, though.
Did it not? Everything's a fucking travesty with you, man.
Yeah. Some excitement in Toronto as a man with a rifle was pulled off a streetcar carrying a rifle in open, like on a sling or whatever.
What is he supposed to be? Is that him in the trench coat?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is he supposed to be?
But it turned
The
out
worst cosplayer ever.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying I don't even recognize what he's trying to cosplay.
I don't watch a whole. Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of Afghanistan animation though, so I don't know.
What did you
Yeah,
think
right,
was going to happen?
Yeah, around 11:30 on Friday at Queen Street in Augusta, they pulled him off. They got many phone calls about a man with a gun on the 501 streetcar going eastbound, and when the police got there, they pulled him off, and they determined the rifle was a replica. Now, see, if he got charged,
got in trouble.
If he got charged with public mischief, even that would be counted as a crime gun.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But I mean, I think the whole thing was kind of, and I understand like there's been a lot of gun violence, at least in the media, not necessarily more than usual, but in the media that's been happening in Toronto. So I
know
understand.
everybody's on edge.
I understand people calling it in.
Oh, this guy's an idiot. Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. Like everybody's on edge. You
But-
do not need to be doing that right now.
At the
But
same time,
even if
it's
it
like
had been a
it's
real
in a grocery
firearm,
bag.
yeah,
He's got it clearly visible in a grocery bag, just as he's like on his way to the expo, like dressed up
Yeah.
in cosplay.
even
Like,
if
be
it
an
had
adult,
been-
just be like, "Hey, is that a gun?"
Yeah.
Like just
But
Like,
you're
don't have to call
expecting a
cops
lot
immediately.
more agency than people in Toronto possess.
well,
On
Yeah.
average.
it's
Yeah.
even if it had been a real gun, he hasn't actually committed a crime because you are allowed to transport a firearm
Mhm.
in the open, unlocked on public
right.
transport. Is it a smart idea? Absolutely
I
not.
would never recommend it. Yeah.
But
also,
it is not.
You are allowed to, but again, you could still get that public mischief charge against you.
Yeah, there are
If you-
things that are illegal
Here's
that you
someone.
just
Yeah.
cannot do anymore. Like you can't leave crock pots around marathons anymore. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't unseal
That
your
only
your
applies
car.
to Massachusetts.
Oh,
You
That's
can't.
right.
You can't
That was
leave
good
your car
taste.
doors
That was
unlocked.
good taste, but
Yeah,
that
I
was-
don't
Oh,
know.
it's
Can't do
Montreal.
You can't take like 18 bags up to your hotel room in Vegas.
That only
probably.
applies
Yeah.
to Las Vegas. All of these rules are very geo-specific, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right.
Well,
Right.
But like, yeah, like it's just it's stupid
Which
to
again-
walk onto public transport especially in Toronto, with any sort of firearm, replica or otherwise, visible to the
yeah,
public.
in a plastic,
Yeah.
like at least get a backpack, and then I'm sure
But-
nobody would.
and-
Well, we've all seen video of what happens to some people when the Toronto police surround them on a streetcar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I mean,
again, let's talk about this whole
Some
public
people have
mischief.
that coming, though.
You get shot and then shot again.
yeah,
And shot again.
and again, and again.
And then there's a
Well,
pause.
let's
And
think
then
of the public mischief charge here, because we have a law here that even if you've done nothing wrong, you've done nothing illegal, you can be charged based on the feelings of other people.
Well, and that's the part that is ridiculous. Like, I mean, if the guy had it, slung across his shoulders or was pointing it at people, understandable
This
that
is-
he would receive a charge of some sort. But if it's
Oh,
tucked
yeah.
in a bag, trying to keep it out of sight so that it doesn't incite some sort of ridiculousness.
But we have a law that is based on the feelings of others.
that's a good point, Marty.
Yeah.
In 5 years, this guy could face civil suits for panic and anxiety and PTSD.
Well, and,
and
and,
whatnot.
and anyone that saw him could claim it with the VA,
Yeah.
to cover their PTSD.
some lawyer will take an ad out
Yeah.
and they'll
Mhm.
just say, if you were on the TTC 501 and this, and you feel shortness of breath or have trouble sleeping or jump at short sounds,
Yeah.
contact
That's a
me.
call.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
whether
public
if
contact
you
them
if you if you can't
you
get
wake up early
erections
in the morning
anymore,
and fall
or
asleep
you
late at night?
yeah, you can't get hard-ons anymore, or they last
Yeah,
more than 3 hours. Like either way, or are you now fat, or are you now too skinny? How's your eyesight?
Mhm.
All of that, like it could be a result of this guy having a plastic rifle in a shopping bag on the streetcar.
So if you saw a plastic toy on the TTC, contact the Veterans Affairs and
Yeah, or
get some
send a
counseling.
feedback at Canadian Patriot Podcast, and we'll organize the lawsuit so that we can get a cut of it.
Yeah.
It'll pay off more than the Patreon.
call now and get a free crock pot.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, like
Or
I mean,
pressure
the whole thing is ridiculous. Like, I mean, I get when the
shipping
police,
is limited to marathons, though, so you have to pick it up at the marathon.
yeah. I mean, I like much like the Brockville incident that happened with some friends of ours. I understand if the police get a call, they need to respond to something, but like, there's no way that like they needed to go to all the lengths of like cuffing this guy and chucking him in the car and everything else for this.
Yeah, but there's just a process you have to go through. Like
I get that, but like at the same time, like it just like they needed to get on to the streetcar and everything to get this guy probably. So like they could have probably just said like don't like he's probably sitting there with the bag on the floor like most people, right? They come onto the streetcar. They could have come on like nonchalantly and come up to the guy and been like, "Hey man, move and I'll fucking smoke you, but we're going to check in your bag, and then gone and looked and been like, oh, it's a plastic gun, and just let him go. Like, I get like they have to respond to the call that they get. If the call that they get says that there's a gun, but then they also need to, when they show up on the site,
It's a ghost gun.
Have an open mind and observe, right? Not just, like, because that's how like shit happens when like people get swatted. Like, they show up thinking that like some guy's got a bomb in a house or something, and then like kick the door and then they shoot the guy playing video games because they aren't paying attention.
Yeah.
Just because that's the call you've received doesn't necessarily mean that's the situation you're walking into. You should kind of assume it is, but maybe temper that a little with your eyes and ears of when you actually get there. But I don't know. It seems like it was a bit of an overreaction from everybody, in my opinion, or could have been handled slightly differently.
Bad time, bad place. It's not the summer. Not the summer for that to happen. If it were last year,
I mean, the guy doing it certainly should have taken a little bit. Maybe instead of a shopping bag, used a garbage bag that covered the whole thing a little bit better. But
because in the article, like if that is the picture of the gun that they seem to be holding, that thing does look like a real gun. Like,
yeah, and I'm sure it does. But
like, this isn't some dollar store thing with an orange cap on the end of the muzzle. This is like,
it's a reasonable facsimile. But I mean, again, like, should have taken some more care. But also, like, if this guy shouldn't get any sort of ticket whatsoever because he did nothing wrong.
Are they saying that rifle that cop's holding in the very bottom picture, is that what he was supposedly was using, or is that an actual AR-15?
That's city news for you. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no actual caption under the picture.
Like has a sight and a flashlight. It seems to have or that could be the sling, but like I don't.
Yeah, it looks real, but again, I mean,
that could very well be
my airsoft gun. Looks
that could very well be the officer's duty piece that he doesn't know how to hold properly.
Yeah, is sweeping his foot right now.
Yeah.
I mean, my airsoft gun looks more real than my, dare I say, more real than my real AR-15.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, people need to be a little bit more responsible in that respect as well. But I mean, clearly he's probably not a responsible licensed gun owner, or he would have known better than to just put his fake firearm in a plastic bag.
So I'm actually seeing an interesting comment here on the thing, and it's a guy talking about that he has a boat and like he's required to have an emergency flare device of some kind. So like he goes and gets a flare gun, and what happens to that guy? Like if he goes to the store or buys a flare gun, which he's required to have on his boat, and then puts that in a plastic bag and gets seen on the TTC with that flare gun that he's legally obligated to have on his boat. And the guy says, like, I understand why this happens, but it's sad state of affairs that this is happening.
It's the exact same thing. He'll have committed no crime, but if somebody gets freaked out and complains, then he could be liable for a public mischief charge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which, if you're pointing it at people and making a general nuisance of yourself, then no problem with that. But if you're just going about your business with your shit in a shopping bag, that's an overreaction.
Yep.
But
again, we should not have laws based on feelings.
Or laws based on crimes that don't have a victim.
That too.
Yeah.
Touché.
Alrighty. So I guess this next one is kind of an extension from a previous story, but the helmet exemption is coming into effect in Brampton now for Sikh motorcyclists. So they will no longer be required to wear helmets.
Yes, I feel like we were already talking about this.
Yeah, but now it's coming. It is certainly coming for real.
Yeah.
Well,
Honestly,
like I said,
I'm fine with this as long as by choosing to not wear the helmet, then they're,
OHIP card is a forfeit when they go to
yeah,
the
they're
hospital.
forfeiting any medical coverage based on an accident resulting while not wearing a helmet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that'll
Yeah,
never happen
I mean,
because it's because of their religion, and they have like freedom of religion and shit like that. It's because of the religion that they can't wear a helmet. I
mean,
think
there's
they
a lot
should
of
make
people-
a helmet
religious
that fits around the
requirement for them
turban.
to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people.
No
that are
one's
getting-
telling them that they are not allowed to wear their religious garb.
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
the
there's-
ones that are like choosing that they want to wear their religious garb while riding their motorcycle. That's their choice. They don't have to ride a motorcycle. They could drive a
Yeah.
car. It
Yeah.
doesn't need to. So
Yeah,
this is
I mean-
100% an optional form of transit for these people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are getting bent out of shape about this, but I think they're getting bent out of shape about it for the wrong reasons.
Mm.
They're all getting bent out of shape because the Sikhs are receiving special treatment, which on the outside of it, it looks like they are because they're going to be allowed to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, while everyone else is going to be subject to this ruling, right? Which it seems like it's unfair to everyone else. What's actually unfair is the whole having to pay for other people's medical care. That's the part that everyone should be outraged by.
Yeah.
I mean,
doesn't understand as a
these-
consequence of doing this.
these Sikhs have actually regained a piece of their freedom back. So should be happy for them to have regained that, and angry that we have to pay for other people's medical care. I mean, if I was allowed to ride my motorcycle or a motorcycle or anyone and not have to wear a helmet, I would still wear one because I'm not stupid.
And that's like, to me, it's one or the
Because I
other.
choose
That's
to
exactly you can't have socialized healthcare and then allow this kind of exemptions. You know what I mean? Like, there's the same reason why we are forced to wear seatbelts. That
Yeah.
it's because we have public health care. So as a result, we are forced to
You've had to
wear seatbelts.
create
And
laws that
like, I mean, ideally, we just get rid of all of it.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna make me pay for everyone's health care, I want people to not be fucking retards.
yeah.
At least minimize the retardation as much as possible.
To me,
Yeah.
I just like to say that this is just another example of institutional racism that you always hear so much about. This institutional racism, and this is one of it. There's a freedom that has been extended to some people based on religion, which you could argue is somewhat related to race, but it's not going to be granted.
Well, but for those that truly don't want to wear a helmet, it is the current year. So just tell them you're Sikh. They cannot say otherwise.
Yeah. And I think that brings us to our final topic.
The most
Best
important
one.
one of the evening. Yeah.
Obviously. Yes, best one.
Very very serious topic.
Yes. From the City News, the sex doll brothel lease was canceled. It will not open in North York Plaza.
I wonder why, though. There's a bunch of people that were against it.
I think when it comes right down to it, the
Lowers property value.
it was then the lease, when they examined the lease closer because of the scrutiny that this drew with all the media that attention that it got, it turns out you cannot have in that area of like Toronto, you can't have an adult entertainment thing, and it can only be in an industrial area. There it is. There's a ruling based on a motion. What's the guy's name? Councillor John Fillion, and he must be very proud. He's just
Yeah.
based on a motion I
Cock block.
introduced about 20 years ago that restricts sex retail shops in North York to industrial areas.
Yeah. So they'll find another location probably.
Yeah, in an industrial area, and hopefully they'll pay less
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim and I have found another interesting loophole though.
What would that be?
Oh yes, we are going to open.
I mean, yeah.
Yes, it's like an adult petting zoo.
Yeah.
Because
Oral only though.
oral only, no penetration, but that's perfectly legal. That was just clarified by the Supreme Court last year that bestiality is not illegal unless there's penetration involved. So you can come in
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
we'll
rent a
be opening
goat
a peanut butter store next
or
door.
2 goats.
Fuck's sake.
You guys have really thought this through.
Well, I
just is fucking wrong, guys.
I just find the whole story about this whole sex doll brothel thing hilarious because of like the ridiculous outrage that it has inspired in people on the left and the right. Like I just like it's an inanimate object. If weirdo loners want to pay money to fuck it, let them. Right? Like
So what you're saying is that it can't consent.
That's feminists have said like, sex doll cannot consent, and every act of sex with a sex doll is rape.
You know, and like you get these like moral, you know, degeneracy aside.
This guy, Fillion, he sounds like the guy that would want to be the head of a homeowners association.
You know, like it's
the PTA.
Like people are outraged that like, well, what if it's an animal sex doll, and it's like, but if you go into a bunch of sex shops in Toronto already, they already have like fake horse cocks and dogs and like all kinds of stuff that nobody's complained about for.
The Hulk.
No, but like I'm just saying,
Toronto
like,
is an example of what you aspire to.
But that's where this sex doll brothel is going to be. That's effectively Toronto. So people are complaining about this stuff that's already been readily available in the sex toy market for years and years and years and years, and we've joked about them many times on this and Internationally Liberty to Death. And
this whole thing sounds like it's one guy.
Yeah,
it was raised. The complaint was raised by this guy to the city. He's the guy fighting it. Like, I don't know, somewhere along the line, a robot harmed him, touched him inappropriately, and he was out for revenge.
Like coffee machine probably burned him in the morning or something.
Yeah, it's morally degenerate and disgusting as this is. It's an inanimate object. If weirdo loners want to pay extravagant amounts of money to fuck one, let them.
He's 1 month away from launching on the market an even better sex doll.
Yeah.
I also like this. So the same dude, he's like in the article, he makes a comment that the same plaza currently hosts 2 other illegal businesses, a dispensary and an illegal massage parlor, which he hopes the building owner will get rid of. So how does he know that the massage parlor is an illegal massage parlor?
Yeah, those are totally legal because they're all licensed.
I thought we just talked about this. Perfectly legal.
Yeah. There's nothing illegal about that so long as they don't proposition you publicly, which they don't, or effectively do sex. but jerking a dude off for money is totally legal. It's ridiculous. Like I think it's gross, like super gross.
I just imagine the government regulations on cleanliness for a sex doll.
I don't think we have any yet because
someone's gonna have to. They're gonna have to be like.
I wonder if they're gonna have a new trade under the College of Trades. I mean, they apparently wear out really fast because Japan was saying that they were. I was reading this article. They were surprised by how fast the dolls were breaking because men were being, people were being too rough with them, and they're getting worn out quickly.
But like, just like there's health inspectors for like restaurants that go in and they check stuff and have.
God, yeah.
Someone has to go around and
have to go
swab the dolls.
Swab them.
They're gonna need some sort of like DUV light because otherwise everything's gonna glow. Like,
yeah, it's so bright. I'm blind.
I don't know. This dude just seems like more example of city people living in a city. Shitty people living in a shitty city.
Yeah,
it's synonymous. I like the first one. City people living in a city.
Yeah, like degens are going to be degens as long as they're not harming other people. Let it life's too short, man. Like if some guy wants to fuck a doll, let him fuck a doll.
Well, that's the thing. Like, but that's the thing. You have to look at where will this be in a year if you let this go. And like I just saw, it came across Facebook just like 3 hours ago. Someone had posted a thing in England. I forget which was. Could have been the Guardian or something like that. But they were saying that child sex dolls should be prescribed to pedophiles.
No,
So now,
hard, no.
the government will be providing, they'll be like,
No.
you'll be taxed to provide a child-sized
No.
doll to a
You're
pedophile.
encouraging the act.
No, but
That's
I don't know,
terrible
man.
idea.
This is the leftist worship of the broken, and they will do anything they can to get that pedophile a sex doll.
No, but I'd rather that guy go fuck a doll than a real child if he can't get it out of his system.
That's where it gets weird.
Someone bring me that hemp that we talked about.
And like there definitely is some lines here and some studies that need to be done on public safety and whether like if engaging in weird deviant behavior with some sort of underage and or animal doll actually
Is he just
encourages
practicing for the real thing?
said
That's the
behavior,
way I see it.
then obviously for public safety, then
Yeah.
yes.
Does it encourage or alleviate?
Yeah.
But if it alleviates, then I'm all for
We
it.
don't know yet. Does it alleviate that urge, or does it just
But
Honing the skill.
normalize it?
but
Yeah.
going back to one of my previous comments, like if it's a victimless crime, it's not a crime. So fucking an inanimate object.
Yeah, but
Like,
they've
you
been
get-
fighting against violence in video games for like 30 years.
Yeah. Like you can already go in and buy like a pocket pussy at the store and fuck the shit out of that. Who's to say that there aren't weirdos out there fantasizing that that's not an adult? Right? Like you can't help people like people are going to be fucking weird and degenerate. There's no law that's going to stop it. I'd at the very least like them to do it with an inanimate object and not a real person.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't like legislate,
But
you
yeah.
you can't create a law that will take into account all the little
Yeah. Like
intricacies that
personal
a person
yeah.
can do.
People are fucking weird. Like just like there are messed up people in this world that like there is no law that you can stop that. And that's even saying that like the guy that owns this place even wants to go down that road as a business model, right? Like maybe he just wants normal weirdos to go and pay money to fuck adult dolls. Like, maybe some other guy's gonna open up the animatronic goat brothel next door, right? Like,
yeah, but you're sitting there and you're saying like someone could go get a pocket pussy and imagine it's like a child. But it's just like you never know the stuff that goes on. You don't even need that. Like there's just like it was like I just remembered something when you were talking about that. There was Bush's appointed health advisor was accused of anally raping his ex-wife when she was asleep, and it turns out I think he was actually a gynecologist, and his defense in court was he didn't know which hole he was using.
Oh yeah. So hang on.
You can't. That's what I was saying. You can't.
That's
Yeah.
still rape, though.
Yes, I know.
oh, wow.
That was horny.
But
Wait.
it's just like you could never
I'm
build.
sorry. Like
you
I want
could
to see
never-
this guy's defense. I thought I was raping her in the other hole.
Oh,
So,
oh yeah, you
that's
could,
not you, right?
yeah. Do you
Go.
mean a normal?
You guys-
Yeah, just a normal rape.
Oh, that makes it all better.
Wait, is that the front hole or the back hole?
Ugh.
Where we're not allowed to use other terms anymore, right?
Yeah, but you could never write a law
Yeah.
that would have dealt with that before you ever heard of it.
Yeah,
Like, you
exactly.
couldn't imagine that would happen, and there it was.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. Yeah,
How
like,
did the lawyer go along with that defense?
I don't know, man. Yeah,
money.
yeah. Degens are going to be degens, and like until
Yeah.
they actually hurt real people, I'm not overly worried about it. And
Like I said,
once
so
they
just,
do,
just keep them in industrial areas.
yeah, once they do hurt real people, though, they should just be taken out back and shot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I want to know what the other two illegal businesses were there. And
Well,
And if
that's
they
like
have,
there's
like-
so
if they have like a
it
half price
kind of
Thursday.
reminds me. Yeah, So it kind of reminds me of a plaza that I know in the Niagara region where
Oh, I thought you meant Nakatomi.
where there's
Nakatomi
there's a a legal firearms business in the plaza. There's
Legal
like a
or illegal?
legal, like you can go there and buy guns and stuff. I've been there a few times. They're not bad people. They're good people.
I like how I had to clarify that it was legal.
Yeah, like you need a license to go and buy guns there, but like literally right next door is a popcorn place, and then on the other side is like some Christian ministry, but then there's like a pot dispensary, some like go-kart place or something, and then like
That's a pretty awesome plaza.
two reptile stores, and it's like the ultimate libertarian plaza. Like the only thing that's missing is like a rub and tug or something on the other side, and maybe a bar. But otherwise, it's like guns, pot, Jesus, reptiles, popcorn. Like what more do you want? Yeah, like what more do you want? Yeah,
a petting zoo.
Well, the reptile thing's kind of like that. They like you can go in and touch snakes and lizards and stuff. It's just they don't have like an alpaca or anything, but
no.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. I think we covered the absurdity of Canada over the past week.
I think so.
Yeah.
Actually, quite a bit to talk about.
What will we ever talk about next week? Oh, I'm sure there'll be plenty.
Trudeau will come up with something.
Yeah.
He'll come up with something. That was a good show.
Yeah. I know we don't have any feedback here scheduled, but I do have one interesting little tidbit for feedback. My wonderful girlfriend Angela got a message on the Instagrams the other day from somebody that she knew in the past that sent her a random message saying that he was a big fan of the show. They dated a friend of hers and apparently like went to go buy a Tim's Good t-shirt. They are quite good of the show. So went onto the website and then saw a photo of Angela and then kind of put it all together. So cheers to you, listener. Thank you for listening. He says he loves the show and has been listening a lot over the last few weeks. But yeah, if you're looking for t-shirts still and coffee, you can find them at ragnaroktactical.ca. They're both on there, the CPP shirts and the coffee.
Here.
Yeah. And and Tim is the guy that makes them by hand. Yeah. Or he just yells at his kids to make them do it. Same thing.
No comment.
But yes, thank you for listening and and wanting to support the show. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Oh, so we come to the outro. Andrew? Here's where you show Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we had where'd the actual rapid fire feedback go that I had?
Well, I did the one about the guy on the Instagram that we know. Where's the other one?
Oh, you know what? It's probably because I had it and I couldn't copy and paste it because of the whole not being able to edit things.
Tim.
So we got an email from Todd. Todd's written in before.
Yeah.
Subject is POS show. And Todd writes, guys, thanks for my dose of sanity in an insane world. I think the topics you covered meld into a couple of simple premises. The neoliberal elite are using every opportunity to destroy the resident culture through immigration, i.e. a religion of peace, a totally alien culture, social engineering, and suppression of dissent and freedom, asking politicians tough questions, subsidizing Tesla, and restricting firearms ownership. A dumbed-down populace that drinks the Kool-Aid. The libtards who push this BS seem insane unless you accept that they want to destroy our culture. Then it makes perfect sense. The real insanity will come if and when they succeed. Cheers, Todd.
Well said, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah.
You can go crazy looking for the logic in it.
Yeah. You'll find none.
Yeah. It's because you would never imagine that they actually just want to destroy what Canada was or is.
Yeah.
You cannot dwell on it too hard looking for reasons because you will find none. Logical ones, that is.
All right.
Canadian
Tim, you asked me
Council
about me.
Podcast.
You can find me at RagnarokTactical.ca. Buy some bandages. Buy a Mantis X. Sign up for a course. It's good stuff.
Or what else? What else do we have on there? Some cool stuff.
You guys are now selling 511. I just got my fancy new shorts. They're fantastic. I'm loving them.
We use special order of 511 stuff for the most part because I don't want 6,000 pairs of pants in inventory, and by inventory I mean my recording studio. That's right.
But he can't get you the hookup.
If you want to tell me what kind of pants you want, I will get them for you at what I feel is a very reasonable deal.
Agreed.
Yeah. Or HSGI, you can get some tacos.
Tacos are in stock. I have a whole wall of tacos behind me.
We do love our tacos.
Tons of HSGI stuff.
Or some badass maritime assault boots from Ultima.
It's true. I do have all of the Ultima and original SWAT footwears.
In the colors of freedom, nonetheless.
And your Warrior Assault vests.
Yeah.
Which I've been rocking all summer and just absolutely loving this vest.
Yeah.
Yes. Stand by for more Warrior Assault stuff on the website. I'm still working out some order stuff with them. The sample stuff that we got all looks awesome.
Yeah.
Over the winter,
put it through its paces a few weeks ago.
I've been using the Warrior Assault the mole vest with tacos from Ragnarok, and they've been nothing but flawless all summer. I mean, the one top rookie at service rifle last week.
Well, I was just gonna say, yes, you even won an award.
Yeah.
So
it's been a good summer,
folks. You buy gear from us, you'll win awards.
Yeah, you win shit.
It's proven.
It's true.
Yep.
Proven fact.
And I'll need to get over the winter. I'll get the back piece for that system.
There you go.
And then so I can put some plates in it for when it all goes to shit.
Well, we may even be able to have those for you, allegedly.
That's what I've been discussing with Andrew. So just waiting. It's no rush, obviously. So just waiting to see what happens.
They're being governed right now.
Yeah,
it's true. I'm dealing with the government. It's painful and slow.
Like everything.
Like every interaction I have with the government.
Yeah.
Unless they want money out of you, then it needs to be quick.
Yeah, but that's only because they want my money. You know when I got my refund for my tax return? My tax return that I filed like 3 weeks before the deadline? Like a week ago. You know how I got it? I employ an accountant who had to call them every day for 2 weeks in order for them to release the funds.
What? That's insane.
Yeah, you would think that I had like millions and millions of dollars, but it was only $1,000
to get your taxes back.
My God! I was going to say, was it a large sum of money, and that's why they were reluctant? But clearly, that was not the case.
Well, from what I understand, they had to claw it back from VAC because they were using it for PTSD treatment.
Yeah, from cop killers.
Lovely. Yeah. Alrighty, gentlemen.
Find me at facebook.com/Tim'sGoodT-shirts. And we did do a contest yesterday. Andrew, I don't think you even posted the podcast as of right now. You haven't
posted last week's podcast is still not out.
The Canadian Patriot Timcast.
Yeah, that's right. All Tim all the time.
So then the only people who've listened to that were the YouTube listeners. I think there's been about 53 of them so far. And the contest I had at the end of that, John H., I'm going to be in contact with you and going to get your shirt size and ask you what you would like for a t-shirt. So.
Good stuff.
Congratulations for making it through the solo Tim show. You certainly deserve it.
Yes, it was hot as hell. You can hear the fan on my mic. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
Kudos to you for carrying the show, my man.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was good fun.
I just got a message from Angela. Apparently the gentleman I was speaking of that she knew. Apparently his name is Drew. So cheers to you, Drew, and thank you for listening and being a fan of the show. And hopefully you did order a t-shirt and some coffee.
Oh, Drew probably asked us tonight about the Maxime Bernier.
Was that who that was? If it is,
true?
then he's definitely a based individual like ourselves. So, cheers to you if that was you asking the question or not, whatever. And to the guy asking the question if that wasn't you, also cheers.
Yeah, hope to have a beer with you both.
Yeah,
one day.
Yeah, and Bernier.
Yes,
I've done that. He's a good guy.
No milk.
Yeah. But I guess, you can find me on Instagram at urbex_GTA. When I'm not playing guns with Andrew and making him look good.
Yeah, and you can find me on Facebook. For the most part, I pretty much will friend anybody that's part of the community because I'm all about spreading the word of awesomeness that is firearms. So just add me up. Won't say no. Marty?
Anybody gonna do the?
You don't want to do the thing? I'll do the thing.
Do it. Can we? What if we do it all together?
True.
Have we never done that? We could do it all together.
Okay.
All right.
I'll start us off. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into the show, and remember, you are
the true north, strong and free. That was horrible.
Really
I'll
hard.
suggest that.
It's 2018. We're not quite there yet. Maybe in 2020.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
I'm intentionally just not saying anything. With
Not good
my
for you,
delay, there's no way I could time that just right.
We'll work on this. We promise.
Maybe if we're all in the same room, that might be the thing.
Yeah, we'll all submit sound bites, and we can just